tomorrow's Veterans Day, and I'm a veteran, so is my oldest son. I kind of got the urge to just head up the hill with the new Crosstrek Wilderness. And I think what I'm going to do is go up to maybe Frog Lake area or whatever and see what I can find up there. Just somewhere out of town, just to kind of enjoy some peace and quiet and just get away a little bit. And maybe get the little goat in a little bit of its environment they say it's made for. And maybe I'll learn something along the way. We'll see. Anyway, beats sitting around here. Let's go. So I'm trying out this active steering assist thing in the car. And what I've noticed is if your hands aren't on the steering wheel, it'll start sounding an alarm. So we'll display that here in just a second. But you can see I'm going down the road. And there it's doing the alarm thing. So it says keep hands on the steering wheel, and then it starts chiming at you. Now, when I first got the car, I assumed what that meant was it's driving down, it's turning around the corner itself. I'm not doing that. What I assumed it was is that you had to put both hands on the steering wheel. And really what it is, it's more of a restrictive thing. So if you just got a hand resting on the steering wheel, and so as it makes slight corrections as you're driving along, as you're driving, just the simple weight of your hand, it acknowledges that your hands are on the wheel. So it's doing these turns, it's literally turning down the road itself. It's a little weird, for sure, but it's definitely working. The other thing I've noticed is fuel economy. So I know I had a discussion with a gentleman on one of my videos about fuel economy on this car, and I know that I'm, not getting as good as I was with some other cars. That's kind of to be expected. But right now, as you can see right there, its average is 19.8 miles per gallon. That's not very good. Not in my opinion. But it's getting better, but I'm also doing highway driving right now. So if I scroll down, it gives you your average. It kind of scrolls around. You can see what it's doing there. 18.4 currently. I've seen it up like 80, things like that. So that's your real-time estimated. And that right there is your average. So it takes all your fuel mileage average together. Now, what am I actually getting miles per gallon at the pump when I fill up? I haven't figured that out yet. Haven't bothered to. But so far, this vehicle is performing really, really well. I'm sure I'm overall, like if I do the fill up and calculate out total miles per gallon, I'm sure I'm getting better than 19.8. And I base that simply on how long I got on the first tank that was in it when I bought it. It seemed to go forever. So I honestly, my gut is, while it says right now 19.8, I'm pretty sure that if you do the math, it's actually going to be giving me really close to what the manufacturer states. The conversation I was having with a guy on one of my videos is his was displaying significantly higher, he said. So I don't know really if he was looking at the average or what. But anyway, on we go. We're heading up to Frog Lake to take a look around. So as I'm driving along, to kind of reiterate, it doesn't take a lot of restriction on the steering wheel, just basically the weight of your hand for it to keep the auto steer or steering assist, whatever, engaged. What I have noticed though is as I travel up the mountain, you get going around some of these fairly turny roads, and occasionally it'll turn itself off. Now, obviously, you're not going to want this thing to be doing the driving for you, okay? That would just be pretty stupid. But what I'm saying is that there are times when you're driving along through these sharper turns and it will chime and let you know that it's turned itself off. And it will still say ready, and then when it kind of, okay, I'm ready again or whatever, it re-engages the steering assist. Now, it makes it through, I'd say, probably 90% of these turns on this road. But once or twice it did turn itself in the off position, basically saying, you're on your own, buddy. But, one thing that is really impressive, I will say, about the steering assist, it's not seeking. It's not like it's looking all over for the road, zigzagging along and so on like that. So, yeah, there it just went in the off. This is a pretty good bend. So you can see as I'm traveling along, it's a pretty sharp turn. And it turned itself off. And now it's back on. Now let's see if it turns itself off on this one. Yep, okay, so there it is. So when you're on roads like this, I don't think the steering assist is going to be much use to you. So maybe just a normal highway running. So, I mean, it does work. It does help on roads like this. It takes a little bit of stress off you, but don't depend on it. Don't be one of those people that you hear about, I put it in cruise control, crawled in the back seat and made a sandwich. Don't be one of those people, okay? Technology's there to help you, not do it for you. Okay, so I made it up here to Frog Lake, and there's this little side road I've looked at for some years, and I've just never gone down it because it isn't where I was going. But since I didn't bring a kayak with me, but I did bring the goat, I thought I'd come up here and maybe see what's up this road. So, seems like the perfect little vehicle to give this a shot. So let's see how this thing does. Yeah. A little bit of washboard stuff here. Shouldn't be a problem with this vehicle at all, with what I'm seeing so far, just because the ground clearance and everything. I'm in normal, plain Jane all-wheel drive right now, and I can't imagine I need anything other than that. But anyway, so I'm going to drive on down this road a little bit and just see what's down here. Isn't that kind of what we do? Okay, now we're getting into some little bit of other stuff. That's pretty deep. But I'm still in normal mode. No problem. That was a good little wash right there. I mean, for a car, you got to keep in mind, this is technically still a car. I think I'm going to straddle it this way a little bit. See if I can. Yeah. Oop. All right. Roads may be icy. A thing just came up on the little menu here. Always a possibility when you're up in the mountains. Sure is pretty up here. I have no idea where this road goes. So, kind of for a Veterans Day romp up in the hills, a little bit of an adventure. Okay, so there's a reason it said roads may be icy. That much is pretty apparent now. Okay, now we're getting into some shit here. Okay, so let's try out. I'm gonna find it here. I know it's up here somewhere. There it is. Snow, dirt, deep snow, mud. I don't know. Okay, let's see what happens. It didn't slip at all. That was interesting. Now, I don't know how far up I'm going up here because I really don't even know where I'm at. But I really didn't anticipate this. But here I am, having a good time. God, the view from up here is beautiful. Let's see here, get out of this rut. There we go. I can hear the X mode up there activating, and that is a lot of snow. I don't know that even given I'm up here by myself, it's probably not a good idea to tool around up there and I don't know where I'm going. So, I don't know, but the view is staggering way up here. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I should go up that road or not. Maybe I'll cruise up there a little bit, but I don't know where the next turnout is. So we don't want to get too stupid. Just up here playing, having a little bit of fun. Enjoying the scene. It's nice. All right. Well, we'll see. So yeah, I decided to keep on going, probably against my better judgment, but so far so good. I mean, I'm this is definitely not something I would anticipate a car being on at all, but it's going, and I'm having actually, other than just a rather bumpy ride, because these washes, you probably can't see them, but where the water runs down and carves out the road, some of these are pretty damn deep. And we got snow up on the trees real good. It's beautiful up here, actually. And you'll have these areas that are just full of snow, and then you'll have kind of clear areas like this, probably from the trees blocking it, but wow, sure is pretty. Sure wish I knew where this road went. On we go. Wanted to go for a drive, screwing around on some unknown road, and definitely up in the mountains. And I have no idea, looking at the map here, I have no idea. Oh wow. It looks like if I keep going, it looks like the road kind of just stops up here somewhere. So let me turn around here. All right, I made it this far. By the way, I have it in snow dirt mode right now, in X mode. The 2024 Crosstrek Wilderness has your normal all-wheel drive, and then it has snow dirt X mode and deep snow mud X mode. So I'm not really sure how deep the snow is, or I don't think it's deep, but I'm guessing that, well, that's a big tree. Okay, so I felt one of the wheels anyway slip a little bit, but it didn't stop moving. I definitely am nothing but snow now. So I think I'm just gonna, it appears I'm not too awful far from where it looks like this road might dead end, so I think I might try to make it there. I'll let you know if I do. So the road kind of forked unexpectedly, but I decided to take the right. Pretty narrow roads. I mean, you know, I could take my Tacoma up here, but I will say this much: a smaller vehicle, you know, given the drop off that's on the side over here, it's pretty significant. It really just kind of drops off into a valley down there. Oh wow, look at that view. Oof. You know, I don't know. So far this little goat is doing really, really well. I'm not having any problems. Look at that view though. My goodness. Wow. That is gorgeous. Wow. But so far this thing's having no problem. Again, I still not the vaguest idea where this road goes. So we're just out trying out the Crosstrek Wilderness and see if it can keep me out of trouble. Well, okay. I wanted a little bit of a day adventure, and it looks like I found it. I'm not sure exactly where I am, but I'm up in the mountains somewhere. Turn you around here. And man, that's gorgeous up here. It's pretty calm. I love it. It's quiet. There's a little goat path that I came up. And here is the 2024 Crosstrek Wilderness doing its thing. Now overall, I am really happy with this vehicle. It got up here, wherever I am,
with absolutely no problems. I did use the X mode. I mainly wanted to try it out. It probably could have done it without it, but there was some slipping until I put it in the X mode, and then it just billy goated right up. No problem. This little car with its ground clearance came in very handy getting up to this point. Man, I'm telling you, this thing is just made for this. What a wonderful little car. And it's you got to remind yourself, I'll say this much, you got to remind yourself when you're driving this thing that it is a car, because with what it's able to pull off coming up here, it kind of makes you wonder sometimes, because it's an incredible vehicle. It really is an incredible vehicle. I would have never anticipated that a car could do what this thing is doing. There were some spots, obviously I wasn't filming all of it, the whole run up here. There were some spots that I probably should have turned around, elected not to. The cladding on the sides, there were a couple down trees, and I don't see any damage on the sides, thank goodness. The cladding on the sides definitely helped with brush. This section right down here is pretty open, but there are some that were not. And I could hear it. I could hear the branches, hitting the cladding. So I reminded myself, well, I'm really glad that stuff's there. But I think this thing is what they say it is. At this point, on my little day trip adventure, I really do believe this car is everything that all these so-called, the review channels and all that kind of stuff. I think it is what they say it is. Now again, like I've said in some other videos, this is my first Subaru I've ever had, and I'm really impressed. Really loving it. Trying to think if there's anything else of really note. I did on the highway up here, the average fuel mileage, I did get it up to 20 average. I do think that that's probably, in all actuality, if you fill the tank and do your calculations, I suspect it's doing better than that. The tires have performed flawlessly in the mud and the snow coming up here. No issues at all. I mean, if you're going to try to not sound like a Subaru fanboy, try to find something. Yeah, I got nothing. You know what? If you're thinking about a Crosstrek Wilderness, maybe it's time just to go get one. Because, I got a Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, and while I know that vehicle could have made it up here, as much as I hate to admit it, it was probably easier in this because of it's a more narrow vehicle and a shorter wheelbase. I know my TRD, of course, could have blasted right up here, no problem. But this vehicle turned out to be not only capable of getting up here, but it didn't gripe, it didn't complain, it didn't moan at all. Wow, it's really cool. I can't think of anything about the car I don't like. I mean, man, I don't want to sound like a fan. I hate fanboys. I did notice the passenger seat was rattling a little bit on some of the really heavier hits, and I'm assuming that's where your top slide track meets the bottom. There's got to be some play in that for being able to slide. So you could hear it kind of, wiggling a little bit, clunk, 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 clunk. Nothing bad. Man, that is nitpicking. Oh my God. I did find it helpful to raise the seat's elevation up a little bit, where I was hitting those areas that were like seriously deep, some of those ruts were 12, 13 inches deep, big old rocks in them. So I raised the seat up. It just felt like I had a better visibility. Man, what started out as just a little run up the lake turned into something incredible. I didn't know where this road went, but here I am. It's beautiful up here. And I did see some kind of a grouse or something like that when I first got out of the car. What a beautiful little spot up here. Wow. This may not be the last time the little Crosstrek sees this area, now that I know it's here. Anyway, so I think I'm going to turn the old goat around and head back down because the clouds are moving in. And it is 30, says it's 33 degrees. So I'm shaking a little bit cold. I didn't quite come dressed for the occasion. But I know that there is a storm coming in. I can see it. The clouds are dark up there. So I should probably get the heck off this mountain. So with that, I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I gotta say, the views from up here are insane. My goodness. I mean, it's just flat out beautiful up here. Just let me pull forward a little bit more here. You can just see, like for right now anyway, you can just see forever out there, wherever that is. But I guess that's part of why I like being up in the mountains, because it really doesn't matter where you are. It's beautiful and it's peaceful. A whole lot different than the city. God, I hate the city. So one thing you don't want to do is go off the edge. Yeah, that'd probably suck. Yeah, nice car. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back down the same road, because it does in fact, at least the path that I took did in fact dead end at that little place, which was a perfect place to end. But so those are my tracks coming up here. Apparently no one else has been dumb enough to come up here. My goodness, that is such a drop. I'm not even going to be able to get that on camera. No, there's really no good hole to see through there, but wow. So cool. So cool. My guess is that if you went off that and Starlink or whatever this thing is this car's got activated, said, hey, this idiot went up here and got into a wreck, man, I don't know if they could find you down there. Oh well. Whatever. So peaceful up here. I should point out that this vehicle in X mode has what's called a hill descent mode or something like that, where it helps descend hills. So basically what you do is, at least as I've noticed it, came to a stop and then I just let off the brake, and it keeps, like if you're going down something real nasty, which I will be here momentarily, and I did once on the way up here, it keeps a nice steady slow speed. So let me get over this tree that's down here. Hang on a minute. All right, over that tree. You know, the suspension on this thing's incredible, how well it handles highway speeds, normal daily driving, and then up here, you know, I mean, like I said, some of these washouts and stuff I've been going through, this is a confusing car, because one minute it feels like you're in a 4x truck, and the next it feels like a car. It's a confusing vehicle. You know, I've had lots of trucks and cars and sports cars and, you know, motorcycles and, oh wow, all kinds of stuff, and that was weird. All right, that is like a 20-inch drop right there down to that rut. I'll make sure I don't get that. And that hill descent is working amazingly right now. I'm not riding the brakes. I'm not doing nothing. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, it's easy to get distracted because my main focus is driving, not making a stupid video. But, you know, I want to give some of you people who are thinking about one of these wildernesses a little kind of like, what's it really like at the moment? And so this video is kind of like experiencing that. It's the first time I've had it off-road. Testing out the X mode and this hill descent mode. It's just doing it. Let me turn you around so you can see what the dash is saying. So there's what my dash is telling me. And it's got the hill descent mode flashing. I'm not sure why the tires are not giving me a tire reading. Not that that's really imperative right now. But yeah, all I'm doing is steering right now. So in a way, that's somewhat similar to kind of the crawl control in my TRD, except I don't think it has, at least I've never discovered it, if it has anything like this hill descent. I don't believe it does, because this is really weird. So I'm not sure what exactly it is doing, and I don't have any kind of way to tell if it's hitting the brakes or what it's doing. So, well, I'll tell you what we can do. Let's do this. Let's go here, hit home, car info. Okay, so there is this screen. I don't know if it's going to tell me anything or not, but okay, so the hill descent immediately grabbed, like some of them have said in the reviews and stuff. But because I guess they were saying on some of these hill descents before that, or maybe other cars, I can't remember what they said, but it takes several revolutions of the tire or wheel to engage a hill descent. This one, as soon as I let off the brake and kind of just said, okay, go, it started doing that immediately. So there was no like, oh my gosh, it's getting away from me, and then all of a sudden it starts grabbing. It's keeping me currently at 2, now it says 3 miles per hour. I'm not riding the brakes, I'm not on the gas, I'm just seeing what this thing does. So, just trying to show you one of the screen options that it has here. So, anyway, you know, as far as like a real time, what's it like for a new Subaru owner? Well, this is kind of your live blow-by-blow thing. I'm totally experiencing this vehicle for the first time alongside with you. And you know, I see these deep washouts and stuff, and you know, here's one of those times where I got to remember, is this a car or a truck? And I am very thankful for the added ground clearance that this particular vehicle has. I am finding myself unsure. It's not a truck. It's not a 4-wheel drive. It's not acting like a car. It's not your mama's SUV. So I'm having a really rough time figuring out what category to put this in, because I've had so many cars and stuff, but I've never had anything like this. This thing is absolutely incredible. At the risk of sounding like a fanboy. All right, onward we go. Okay, here's another little side note I just discovered. Your hill descent mode, you can actually kind of set your speed, how fast you want to go down. So I've been cruising along at through a lot of this nasty stuff back there at right about 3 miles an hour. It's been holding right really solid at 3 miles an hour. And it didn't matter if, you know, what was going on underneath the car. It was just kind of, okay, we're going to hold 3 miles an hour. And it really made for watching the cliff on my side really nice, because I could really focus on looking out the window and getting, you know, getting the edge of the car as close to that as possible and staying away from these ruts. So what I decided to do was, there was a little patch there that was pretty nice road, and so I gave a little gas thinking it would disengage the hill descent. It didn't. What it did allow me to do was get it up to about 6 miles an hour. That's where I took it this time. And then it held it at 6. So just now I slowed it down, hit the brakes and slowed it down, and now it's holding at 3 again. So apparently the hill descent, you have control over the speed of your descent. So that's kind of nice, because I've been holding it where these really deep washouts are on the road, and I'm kind of really hugging the edge of the road over here, trying to stay out of those ruts as much as possible, just because there's a lot of big old rocks and, you know, just yuck down there. So but at the same time, I don't want to get too ridiculously close to the edge over here. So at 3 miles an hour, I can use that to kind of focus on my descent speed, and then I just steer the vehicle close to the edge over here, and, you know, look out the window if I need to, and really be able to gauge how far I can comfortably take it. Again, it's an assist, but it works really, really well. I'm liking that. Takes a little bit of mental heat off you a little bit while you're focusing on some other things. It helps you out, kind of makes the experience a little safer and a little more enjoyable, because I'm definitely having fun out here in the little goat. All right, still heading on down the hill. Okay, hill descent. You can completely control your speed. So the way it seems to work is you get it up to the speed you want and just let off the gas, and it'll hold that speed. Because there was a rare decent spot in the road where I got it up to, I think it was 13 miles an hour. I can't remember what it was, 12 or 13 miles an hour. And I let off the gas just to see, and bang, it held it right there. Now, at some point, obviously, hill descent's gonna obviously kick out, I would assume, but kind of like cruise control in some weird form or another. But yes, I could read the owner's manual, but come on. You think I'm gonna do that? It's much more fun to discover this stuff on your own. Anyway, the hill descent is variable, and you are in control of that. That's kind of nice. Well, that was pretty interesting. I've come down quite a ways, and on the way down, ran into a guy driving a Subaru Outback, and he's definitely got his setup with some off-road tires and stuff like that. He's no spring chicken to doing this in his Subaru. And he was telling me that there's all kinds of trails up around here that you can get to. Really nice guy. I had a wonderful visit with him, and I think he's heading up to the area I went to, possibly. Hard to tell, because there's a lot of different little paths up there. He was telling me where I went that I could have kept on going, but I think we're crossing threads on, because I don't see, when I was up there, there was nowhere to go other than off a cliff or to turn around. So maybe he's thinking of a different turnout I was at. I don't know. It's hard to say. Either way, really nice guy. It was fun to see another Subaru up here. And that was that. So we'll catch up when I get down to the bottom. Okay. Well, today's little adventure was not exactly planned out, but I wanted to do something for Veterans Day. And if I'm going to do something for Veterans Day, why not go where I'm at peace the most, and that's up in the mountains. So I was going to head to Just Frog Lake, which is off that direction. And then ended up taking a side road and just to see where it goes. Sometimes you just got to do that. And it turned into a wonderful opportunity to test the goat out. I call it the goat. I'm very happy with this vehicle. It impressed me quite a bit up there today. In the snow and the ruts and the washouts. And to my knowledge, I only had it on 3 wheels once, as far as I know. No problem. No damage whatsoever. Runs like a top. The hill descent, that was really cool how you can set that. It does only work when you're in X mode, so that's something to think about, obviously. Otherwise, you're cruising down a highway going down a hill. It's whatever. Coffee, the nectar of gods. So today's little trip turned into something kind of fun. I'm really glad I did it. I got a chance to test this thing out. It was a lot of fun. This car is fun. It did really, really well, and I felt safe and secure in it too, which is really good, especially considering, there I was up there in the middle of nowhere, riding the ridge of Mount Hood by myself. Probably not the smartest idea, but whatever. I'm really happy with the vehicle. So I'm going to get home, get this thing edited up. But the big thing is, to my fellow veterans, I want to thank you for your service. And to my son Brandon, thank you for your service. He is a Marine, and he's out now enjoying his life in the free state of Florida. And I'm really proud of him, as I'm sure any parent would be of their son who performs his service in honor to the country with admirable and top-tier performance. I would hope and expect nothing less from my son. America's finest is exactly what we need in the service. If they call your number, you got to be ready. So today with my little Veterans Day jaunt. Today is the day before Veterans Day. Today's Friday. So an early happy Veterans Day. And again, to all my veterans, thank you for your service. Let's hope they don't need us again. So with that, this is Dana Price, Amber Dog Productions, with the GOAT, the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. Performed fantastic. I couldn't ask anything more. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.